An upgraded FM signal at 95.7 on the FM side. Super Bowl winning coach now at Barstool Sports, friend of the program, Jon Gruden, is back with me here on The Drive. John, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to call and congratulate you on this new 95.7, man. I'm sitting underneath a tree all the way up in Ocala, and you're coming in clear as a bell. I love it.
Oh, you're in Ocala. That's great. So I was wondering, I'm inviting listeners to let us know how far away you can hear the signal. You're up in Ocala. What you doing up there?
I just came up here to see what kind of range you guys had on your FM signal, man.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this is the greatest thing ever. Your voice sounds so much clearer. You're going to have more fun on this new 95.7 than any radio host ever.
I feel privileged, John, and blessed to be in this position. And thank you very much for the kind words. Great to have you with us. You were out in San Francisco. I know you were hobnobbing. You were going from one place to another with Barstool Sports and everything else. So you missed an opportunity to kind of show me around town. I was a little disappointed, but I understand.
No, I'm sorry. We're going to have to connect down here in Tampa to have a cigar. I was so busy up there. I'm sure you felt the same thing, but I got to see a lot of my former players and a lot of guys that are currently in the league. It was really a lot of fun up there.
I'm sure it was. Who was the most interesting guy? What was the biggest interview that you had that week?
You know what? We were in the room most of the day. I got to see Bo Jackson and Charles Woodson, Eli Manning. I got to sit down with Rondé Barber again, but just a lot of different really cool people. Isaiah Likely, who's a free agent tight end of the Ravens. Alec Pierce, a big free agent wide out of the Colts. A lot of different kickers I got to talk to as well. Cameron Dicker, one of them. But we had a lot of fun just trying to get to know a lot of these new players in the league, some of the upcoming free agents, and some of the former greats.
Jon Gruden is with me here on The Drive to kick off the show on 95.7 FM in our new time slot. John, I heard you got a coaching job. Can you confirm?
I did.
Could you confirm the Mexican flag football team? I saw them in your hotel lobby out in San Francisco. What gives?
Well, I was in the lobby, and they walked in. As you know, flag football's becoming a very big sport in this country. They had the Mexican team. I did apply for the job, but unfortunately they had a couple coaches. I can't get a coaching job to save my life.
Come on.
So I'm just going to be I'm going to pester you at 95.7 WDAE. I'm going to pester you now.
I have no problems with that whatsoever. I know coaching is in your blood. I know you want to get back into it. I know you can't talk about it. You got this thing going on with the NFL, and hopefully you'll get a settlement there. Do you think that is maybe a stumbling block, perhaps? Once you get that settled, you think more opportunities will come your way? What do you think?
Well, I've had a chance to get back in coaching. I'm not going to get into that today. I like living in Tampa, honestly, and I'm getting my itch scratched by doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. We're getting ready for our 6 quarterback camp shows, so we're in studying college players. I got plenty to do to keep me busy, but I don't want to start any rumors, but I'm not necessarily beating down the door to just move anywhere and coach these days.
Well, listen, if you want to start a rumor right here on this expanded FM signal, you're more than happy to do so. I'll help you out any way that I can. I'm just saying.
Well, I know you can do that. No one can do that better than you, my friend. But you guys, I just really wanted to call and encourage you guys. This is a great day for sports radio, and this is going to be awesome. I know you guys will really take advantage of this and have some fun.
We are. Your quarterback camp special, you mentioned you got 6 quarterbacks coming into your FFCA offices?
We do have 6. We've got 5 confirmed, and we're really excited about it. We're digging into the film, and we're starting our research and trying to get some really good content where you can get to know these players and have some fun with them.
Barstool Sports is where you can catch that. Is Fernando Mendoza one of them, John?
Well, we have a tentative agreement to get Fernando, but as you know, these guys' schedule gets crazy. They have to fly to and from pro teams for individual interviews. We do think we're going to get him, but we haven't. He's the one guy that we haven't fully confirmed yet.
That would be amazing, and I can't wait for that. You and Fernando Mendoza in one room talking football would be extraordinary. The Combine's coming up this week, John, and he's going there. He's not throwing. Is that the right move for him not to throw? Because he's got the tape, doesn't he, to back it up?
His tape's very good. I think a lot of guys you're going to find aren't going to throw. A lot of the skill guys aren't going to run. It's a problem. This combine is very much run by the agents. You will get the medical done. You'll get to do some private interviews, but a lot of these guys, as you know, do their own workouts at their private schools where they're much more comfortable throwing to targets that they're familiar with.
Yeah, that'll be on his pro day a few weeks down the road. We're talking with Jon Gruden here on The Drive to kick off things at 95.7 on the FM side. So glad to have you with us. So grateful, John, that you can spare a couple of minutes to come on this hideous show. The hot topic of conversation, John, around here is Mike Evans, and his agent will join me tomorrow at 3:05, Derek Gilmore, so I can't wait to talk to him. But from your perspective, what do you think happens with Mike?
You know, I have a hard time believing that he would ever play anywhere else after the storied career that he has had in Tampa. But I did get to coach Jerry Rice. You know, I never thought I'd see him play for anybody else other than the 49ers, and Jerry came over to play for me in Oakland. Tim Brown ended up his career in Tampa with me. So anything is possible. I'm sure the agent will shed some light on Mike's situation. Perhaps retirement is an option, but I sure hope he comes back. I'd hate to see his career end on an injury-riddled season like he had this past year.
Well, his agent has mentioned he will play in 2026 and that he's going to open it up. And like you, it's hard for me to picture him in a Bills uniform or a Chiefs uniform or a Packers uniform. But is there a team outside of Tampa that would make the most sense for Mike Evans in your estimation?
Well, he's a classic wide receiver. He can be a big X on the backside of trips. He can function in the slot. He's deadly in the red zone. You know, there are some teams that need receivers, but I would think Mike is going to zero in on a team that he thinks can truly win a championship and a team that has a quarterback in place. And I really would have a hard time believing he would leave Tampa unless the finances got crazy.
Well, the finances could get crazy. I think there's going to be a market out there. We'll just see how that goes. Again, Mike Evans' agent, Derek Gilmore, will join me tomorrow at 3:05. Maxx Crosby, a guy who's near and dear to you, John. You're going to the Combine this week. A lot of people will be talking. Do you expect the Raiders to trade Maxx Crosby?
You know, I've heard you talking a lot about Crosby, like you think he's on the trade block. I know there have been some media outlets say that Max is on the block. I cannot imagine Clint Kubiak and this new regime parting ways with one of their top players, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 pass rushers in football. But if someone were to make a blockbuster offer, that could be a scenario, but it would take an awful lot to get Maxx Crosby at this point in his career. The Raiders don't have enough good players, in my opinion, to move on from him.
100%. But by the same token, you look at that team, they're devoid of talent. They have the number 1 overall pick. They've got a new coach. It seems like they're going to rebuild things from the ground up. I don't know if Maxx Crosby is going to be a willing participant in that. You know a lot better than I do. You think he's going to sit there and want to be a part of a rebuild?
I don't think rebuilding is what it used to be. I mean, if you ask the New England Patriots, they were 8-26. They spent $150 million in free agency. They had every rookie make their team. I just saw them in the Super Bowl. I saw the Jacksonville Jaguars go from worst to first. So did the Bears. So I think if you're the Raiders and you got a chance to get Fernando Mendoza, that'll change a lot of things in your locker room immediately. They've got a lot of money to spend in free agency. All you got to do is collect really good players, and if you have a few great ones, you can be in the money. It's been proven here in the last year.
But like you mentioned a couple weeks ago when you were on with me, if you're the Bucs and Jason Light, you're still making that phone call, right? You got to look into it.
Well, I think so. I'm sure they looked into Micah Parsons. And I think if you went through what Micah Parsons just went for, I would think the Raiders would ask for similar compensation, perhaps even more than that. But you have to find the party like the Raiders, that's willing to part ways with their best player. And not only that, he's a captain, he's a leader on that team. But I'm not going to add any more logs to your fire that you started down here. I don't think anything's happening.
Okay, John Gruden is with me here on the drive to kick things off on 95.7 FM and our new time slot. Great to have you with us, John. Look, if you're the Bucs, okay, free agency's here. You know the pressure's on after the way the season ended. If you're Jason Light, you're going into free agency, who is the one player that you are targeting?
I got to see the final list. You know, it's still too early. Some of these players that you think they're going to be available, but they get franchised right before free agency starts. I haven't even seen who the top edge rushers are. I do know this. He's going to address his own free agents first. And you mentioned Mike Evans. I think Levante David is a free agent. I think they're going to make sure they don't let anybody leave Tampa that they think can help them, because they do have a really good nucleus. They're injured a lot this year, but I think he's going to address his own guys first, and then he'll try to find that edge rusher. I think he'll try to find another guy in the offensive line that can come in and play immediately. Mm-hmm. But I'm not Jason Light. I'm sure he's doing his homework, and he's seeing what he wants to spend and then who's available in the draft, because it is a 1-2 punch. You can cover some things in free agency, and then you can go get some things in the draft. But, boy, I think defense, that front seven, pass rusher and linebacker are primary needs for Tampa.
Without question. And the Combine gets underway this week. Jason Light is there. Todd Bowles is there. Every coach, every GM, a lot of agents, a lot of people are there, John. You've been in the middle of it all. Just give us an idea from a head coaching perspective what it's like going to the Combine. Now, John, let's be honest. You know as well as I do, I talked about this last week, that this tampering stuff happens all the time. People talk. You're not going to stop them from talking. It's hard to prove it. So you're at the Combine. Like, as a head coach, what's your objective? What are you looking for?
Well, the number one thing is you're going to, as the head coach, you're going to meet with the agents. You have nonstop meetings. A lot of times you'll sit in there with the general manager, the cap guy. You'll talk to the agents. You'll see what players they have. Perhaps you can start to see what ballpark they're looking at in terms of a contract. You get an idea who the agents are for your players. You're doing a lot of research and investigation. You're really seeing what the market looks like, and you're letting agents know, hey, I'm interested in your guy. Make sure you don't forget that. Don't forget me, because I'm going to be calling you when free agency opens. So jockeying for position with the agents is critical. And then your interviews with the college players. You do get 15 minutes per guy. It's an introductory type interview. You get the medicals, the physicals, and a lot of these staffs, you've got new coaches on your staff, so you try to build a little camaraderie. You know, I would not hesitate to take my coaches out to Hooters to have a little camaraderie late at night. But it's all football all day and night, and you get to see some individual private workouts, but you really got to do the homework with the agents and find out where we stand and what ballpark we're talking about with the upcoming free agents.
Well, it's an interesting point. And when you get to the Combine, you get all these guys like in their underwear running the 40 and the broad jump and everything else. But those interviews, those 15 minutes that you get are certainly very, very critical and very precious. And you're on a fact-finding mission. Like, do you put a lot in the workouts in terms of how they work out, how they look, as opposed to the interviews, or is the tape like how do you break down a prospect? Like, the tape has got to be the most important thing, right? And then the workouts and the interview are kind of like ancillary type of options for you?
Well, the tape obviously puts you on the player. If you like the tape, you're going to really look into the player. So the video is really important. Obviously, these coaches are just starting to look at the college players because the season just ended. But then you go to the Combine, and you bet you want to see what these guys look like physically. They come up there without their shirt on. You get an idea to see what kind of body they have. Are they working out? You get a chance to see what kind of flexibility, what kind of vertical jump. You see the short shuttle. You see the 40. You see a lot, and you can compare the good ones to the good ones. And most importantly, you can eliminate some guys from your list. These are guys we definitely do not want to take. The doctors will give you an update in terms of the medical. But I think a lot of coaches are looking for these interviews. They want to like these players. They want to feel a player's passion for the game. They want to feel your intelligence. So the interviews are really important. This 15-minute one, not so much, but first impressions go a long way. Usually you're setting up your individual private workouts with this initial interview.
And if you're Jason Light and Todd Bowles and they are both there, you're kind of looking at defense, right? I know you're looking at all position players and everything else, but in terms of their specific needs, they're going to be there at the Combine this week. They're going to have a close eye on a lot of those defensive players, aren't they?
I don't think there's any question about that. They definitely need to add to the front four and to the linebacking core. I think tight end could be an option. They've got a new offensive coordinator. Zach Robinson's here. I'm sure he's going to try to get across some of the points that he has in terms of the players that he would like to have. So, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be defense primarily is the focus, but you got to do your homework. And I know Jason Light's going to pick a really good player. He doesn't care who it is. He's going to take the best player on his board when he's on the clock.
Wrapping it up here with Jon Gruden here on The Drive on 95.7 FM. And obviously, Levante David's status is going to figure into what they do. Do you think Levante comes back for a 15th year? He just turned 36. I've seen him making the rounds on some of these podcasts. He says he feels good, but what do you think, John?
You know, I don't know. That's a long time to play linebacker. I love him. If anybody can do it, he can do it. But he's definitely going to have to make some really tough decisions. He's a grown man. He's been through a lot. He's healthy. He still is one of the Buccaneers' best defenders. But this is long and deep into his career. This will be a tough one, and I think Buc fans might have to sweat this out for a little bit.
He's in the Buccaneer Ring of Honor, Barstool Sports, Super Bowl winning coach, and now the honorary coach of the Mexican flag football team, Jon Gruden, with me here on 95.7 FM, all the way up in Ocala. I'm glad, boy, up in Ocala, that's great. If you can get us up there, man, we're ahead of the game, John.
You guys got a great signal, man. You're clear as a bell. Just keep it rolling, and thanks for letting me come on, share with the fans.
Well, thank you, John. And look, like I texted you the other day, Thursday, we were on that positivity, that no negative Thursday thing. You know, I got Mike Evans, 70% coming back to Tampa, so I'm trying to keep up with you and your new policy here.
Well, I'll be listening on Thursday, and if I hear any violations, you will hear my complaints. I don't want any complaining and whining on Thursdays.
Duly noted. John, thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Okay, guys. Have a great one. See you.
You too. And Jon Gruden. He's up in Ocala. That's great. He's got us crystal clear all the way up there in Ocala, and that's what I want to hear.
You're coming in clear as a bell. I love it.
Thank you. We love it too, John. So now that we have the updated Jon Gruden, liners.
95.7, man.
I'm pumped up. We're all pumped up. What a great way to kick off the show. Jon Gruden, John calling from Ocala. Well, I was going to have Caliendo come in, boy. That would have been great. Caliendo off the top rope. You never know what I have up my sleeve. It's a lot. It certainly is a lot. All right, great to have you with us here on The Drive in our new time. 95.7 FM is coming in loud and clear. You know, I left my house today, Pasco, driving up around Pasco, hear it clear as a bell. Where are you listening to us from? I want to hear from you. 888-388-0957. That's the phone number. You can text it at 82945. Give me the farthest reaches of Florida. I want to know just how far 95.7 FM is extending into. We're maximizing our reach. We're reaching a lot of people. It's an historic day. It's an exciting day and the start of a new era here on The Drive from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. All right, great to have you.